etc. on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%.
Curves his punches, where, you know, like the first few rounds, he throws very few punches.
He's just measuring. He's a computer, man.
Yep.
He's just getting the data on you, faking you, taking pictures of everything you're doing. Then
People will criticize you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why? Come on.
Because, like, we're elite fighters.
Joe Rogan was left stunned after Anthony Joshua allegedly pulled back the curtain on what really goes on behind the scenes of a Jake Paul fight contract. What many fans assume is a simple crossover boxing match quickly turned into something far more calculated and controlled. As Joshua reportedly laid out the clauses, restrictions, and hidden leverage baked into these deals, Rogan's reaction said it all. This wasn't just about boxing skill. It was about business power, protection, and narrative control. And once you hear what Joshua revealed, it becomes clear why so many real fighters have quietly walked away from a Jake Paul bout.
On that stage,
Yeah?
and you hear him saying everything he says, bearing in mind the journey you've been on, everything you've done, do you just think this guy's deluded?
Nah. Look, an amateur coming into the game with no experience, he's taking on some good names. They may be old, they may be from different combats in terms of MMA and so on, but he's got in the ring at a decent level, fought Tommy Fury and so on. So he believes in himself. I take it seriously, I respect it.
Yeah, but their levels, come on, AJ.
Yeah, there are, but it's all about on the night. The levels that I carried last year and the year before and the year after that will not win me this fight. What will win me this fight is performing on the night. And I have to respect my opponent. If I underestimate him, I give him a chance. And that's all.
The bout officially billed as Judgment Day was contested over scheduled 83-minute rounds in the heavyweight division, with Joshua entering as the clear favorite due to his elite experience and size advantage. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches in and weighing around 243 pounds compared to Paul's 216 pounds. After several tentative early rounds, Joshua began to take control, knocking Paul down multiple times in the 5th before finishing the fight with a devastating 6th-round knockout at 1-31, landing a crushing right hand that sent Paul to the canvas and forced the referee to stop the bout.
Champ Anthony Joshua. Paul was sturdy for the first couple of rounds, but as the fight went on, the more experienced Joshua began to take control. After continuously connecting in the 5th round, it was only a matter of time before it was over. In the 6th, Joshua went on to knock out Paul with a big right hand. Joshua improved his career record to 29-4 now. Paul loses for the 2nd time in his career to go along with.
Paul's plan for the game against Anthony Joshua was built around movement, speed, and avoiding Joshua's power for as long as possible. Paul openly stated before the fight that his strategy was to use his agility and footwork, constantly circling, keeping his distance, and making Joshua chase him around the ring in hopes of frustrating the former heavyweight champ and surviving all 8 rounds. His team and even Paul himself said he wanted to avoid that one shot and bank on his cardio and angles to last the distance. The idea was simple. Keep moving, frustrate Joshua, and make him miss rather than trying to engage head-on with a heavier, more experienced puncher.
You saw the game plan from both guys from round 1. Jake was very mobile. I mean, he had the happy feet going. He was circling around the outside of the ring. He was not looking to engage in elongated combinations. He was not looking to stand in the center of the ring with AJ, and people are going to say Jake ran from AJ, and you're right. Because guess why? He absolutely had to. Again, talked about this in the build-up to the fight. He had to be mobile. He had to be on his bike. So yes, you're justified in saying Jake ran from him because he had to. He had to. And anybody that convinced themselves that Jake was going to walk to the center of the ring, stand in the phone booth with AJ, and trade punches until someone laid flat, you were lying to yourself, or you convinced yourself of something you saw in the promo. This was always going to be the way the fight went. I wasn't surprised at all that this is the way that Jake started and pretty much fought the entire time. I was a bit surprised that AJ didn't assert himself earlier. Now, again, it is very hard to hurt someone that doesn't want to engage in a continuous fight. Round 1, very much a feeling out process for AJ. Didn't really look like he did much, but Jake didn't either. There was one right hand that AJ landed in the 1st round that shook Jake up. That's the danger that was coming for Jake the entirety of the fight. The 2nd and 3rd rounds were pretty much the same, a bit of a mixed bag in terms of Jake tried to get on his jab more. He did land some jabs that snapped the head back of AJ and landed some right hands, but this was all calculated risk for AJ as well, because he knew as long as he turned that faucet on and let the water run and let it fill up the sink and never turned the faucet off, that eventually he would drown Jake, right? So every round it was pressure, front foot, front foot, front foot, and AJ strategically breaking down Jake's gas tank. I will say I'm pretty let down by the fact that AJ didn't cut the ring. I was shocked that he didn't go to the body more. I was shocked that he didn't set up his punches more, didn't get his head off the center line more. It was not a great performance from AJ, but at the same time, AJ had just come off a loss. AJ had just come off surgery. I'm not making excuses, but it wasn't.
Legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer offered a unique viewpoint on the influence of Jake and Logan Paul in modern boxing. He highlighted how the brothers have managed to bring fresh energy to the sport, capturing the attention of younger audiences who might not have otherwise engaged with boxing. Their talent for building engaging storylines, creating anticipation, and generating large-scale excitement has significantly expanded the sport's reach. Buffer acknowledged that while some critics remain skeptical about the legitimacy of crossover fights, the Paul brothers' impact on boxing cannot be dismissed. By attracting new viewers and increasing mainstream interest, they have opened doors for broader fan engagement and media coverage.
Jake and Logan, first of all, are fantastic athletes. You know what Logan does with the WWE and what Jake does with boxing. He knocks people out and everything. And they both have massive fan bases. And for me, it's great to see people get young people that follow them that didn't have they don't remember Ali or Joe Frazier or whatever. It's not in their wheelhouse. So it's great to see them developing fight fans and a big fight atmosphere. So it's very exciting.
These two stood face to face, and the comment section on the internet was going crazy. They were like, call the ambulance now, basically. Like Anthony Joshua looks dangerous standing next to him.
Anthony Joshua is, at this time, and has been for years, the biggest puncher in boxing. He's a devastating puncher. So I got to give Jake a lot of credit for wanting to take this fight.
Yeah, it's not. A lot of people saying it's not smart. If he somehow was able to surprise the world, what does this do for his?
The word would be surprised if he shocked the world. But that's exactly why you got to give him credit. He wants to do it. He trains hard, he works hard, and he has a lot of faith in himself. So we'll see what happens.
Technically, though, what's the biggest concern for you? What's the biggest tip you can give Jake, knowing that you've watched Anthony so many times dominate?
After the fight, Anthony Joshua was honest and reflective about his performance, saying that while he got the job done with a 6th-round knockout, he didn't feel it was his best showing and believed he could have done much better. Joshua admitted he needed to do better because he struggled early to land clean shots and couldn't corner Jake Paul as quickly as many had expected, calling it a win, but not a success, and emphasizing that he still has a lot of improvement ahead of him.
Sharon, what I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron, is fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have.
Despite the knockout, Eddie Hearn acknowledged Jake Paul's effort, but in a more measured tone, noting that while Paul showed some toughness, the outcome was never in doubt. Hearn pointed out that no one realistically expected Paul to last long against a fighter of Anthony Joshua's caliber, and surviving into the 6th round was more about his durability than any technical skill. He implied that Paul's performance highlighted the gap between social media crossover fighters and elite pros, emphasizing that while lasting multiple rounds was notable, it didn't change the fact that Joshua's experience and power ultimately dominated the fight.
I mean, first 2 or 3 rounds, a little bit frustrating because you've been out of the ring for a year and a half and you've got a guy that's just running around the ring, and you can say you've got to cut him off, but when they're moving at that kind of speed and they're holding up close, but his clinching was quite good, Jake. Listen, I'm not saying he's going to go and win a world title, but he just fought Anthony Joshua and went 5 and a bit rounds. So, respect to him, and it was good to get some rounds in, to be honest with you. He's got a new team. If it would have gone 45 seconds, maybe people would have been more impressed, but we wouldn't really have got any ring time. So we've got that, and now it's a case of when we're at next.
You described Jake as average a few years ago. What's your assessment of him now?
Decent. If you listen to what I said in the build-up, I said he used to be average, now I think he's decent. And the same. I think he's like a top 50 cruiserweight in the world. Top 50, top 60 cruiserweight in the world. So, yeah. And look, like I said, I hope he's okay. 4-0 to Matchroom over MVP. But we're friends now, so respect to him.
And your message for
Fury, listen, we'll see you in September.
After the fight, Ryan Garcia weighed in on social media with a blunt and provocative reaction that caught a lot of attention within the boxing world. Garcia tweeted that while he respected Paul's effort, he also made a sharp comparison involving Gervonta Davis, another high-profile boxer. In his tweet, Garcia wrote, "I think Gervonta would have done him worst," suggesting that Davis would have hit Paul harder or ended the fight even more decisively than Joshua did. Many experts agree with Garcia and believe this is not elite boxing. Even after the fight, criticism of the matchup continues, with some observers arguing that the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul bout should never have happened in the first place.